What a good boy. Oh, what a good boy. You're so big. Oh my God, you're a giant doggy. Okay, back to business. Let's take a closer look at what we've got here. So, stand this up. Hopefully. All right. So what I've got is main power switch that goes to the motherboard power switch on this connector. I've got a standard automotive USB charger, and then for 3.3, 5, and 12 volt, I've got individual switches. I got fuses in here. I've got 10 amp right now, but I think I'm going to put 5 amp fuses in each of these. Then I got a little volt amp meter, and then I've got banana plugs to draw the power from. And then up top, I've got a variable power supply. You can go 0 to 30 volts in, 0 to 30 volts out, I do believe. I've got a 10 amp in here. I'm going to keep the 10 amp in there. And I know this says 0 to 36, but hey, I didn't design the thing. I just found it and downloaded it and printed it. And of course, banana jacks out. Then on the back, this is the main power switch. This is 3.3. This is the 5, 12, and then this is the fuse for this guy. And then I need to run some outputs over to the banana jacks yet. I still need to disassemble these guys, all these banana jacks, and heat shrink all those connectors. But here's my Molex for 12 volt, 5 volt, 3.3 volt. And I've got one more connector on here that I'm not using. And I'm thinking about taking this 5 volt and running it in there, because here's my problem. The 3.3 volt amp meter needs a minimum of 5 volts to power the LEDs. So what I was doing was, you can see here I've got a yellow and a red wire going to the and then this is voltage in, and it runs through the ammeter. So this is the voltage in to the post, and then I connected the yellow wire, which is voltage detection, and the red wire, which is power, and that works just fine for 12 volt and 5 volt. And again, this is voltage in from the ammeter. So I go from the fuse to the ammeter in, ammeter out, to the binding post in positive. And that's not right. Oh, from the fuse to the positive, and then the negative goes to the ammeter. And then the ammeter goes to the main negative. Sorry about that. Okay, so power voltage detection down here. 3.3 volt, I can't do that. And I was thinking, well, maybe I could just, run a relay that's triggered by 3.3 volts. And that sounds like overly complicated. So what I might do is tie it into 5 volts. I was going to tie it into 5 volts right here at the 5 volt power switch, but I think instead I'm going to run it to this Molex. And I think I'm going to run all 3 power lines, all 3 of these little guys for the 3.3, 5, and 12 volt. All 3 of these guys I'm going to run into this Molex and just give it a constant 5 volts. So that way, whether these are on or off, these are going to be lit up whenever I hit the main power. There it is. So these will be lit up even if they're not, even if there's no power to them. And then when I hit this button, it'll go from 0 to 3.3. And when I hit this button, it'll go from 0 to 5.2. And when I hit this button, it'll go from 0 to 11.7, which is the next problem. A lot of these computer power supplies won't give 12 volts unless they have a little bit of load on the 5 volt or the 3.3 volt. And I did some testing, and if I put a load on the 5 volt, this jumps right up to 12.2. Is 11.7 going to kill me? No, but I kind of do want the 12.2 on there. So I got to decide what to do, and maybe you can tell me in the comments, but I'm thinking about using another one of these guys and just putting a big resistor on the 5 volt just to put a load on that 5 volt rail all the time. Or maybe I'll, find the 5 volts in here and just run a, and I don't even know, is it a 1K resistor? Is it a 20K resistor? I got to figure that out. So, and that will give me my 12 volts. And then, am I going to have a heat problem? That's the next thing. And this little guy, we got some big cooling fins here, but I also have a spot for a 5 volt fan. And so I'm going to run it first without the fan and see how she does. And if I need to, I'll find a way to mount a little fan on here, blow across these fins. And again, I still haven't connected my output to these little guys. So that's where we sit with that. The other thing, the last thing, is I'm trying to decide if I want to open up this case and bob all these wires so that there's not all these extraneous wires laying around. Because all I need is this, and probably this guy now. So I could either roll this up and tie it, or I could bob these wires. And the majority of the wires on here I don't need, so I could cut those off and bob them also. And it'll make a lot cleaner. Of course, then I could just, run directly to my 2 wires here and not have to have all this hillbilly crap like this here. So we'll see. We'll see what we want to do with that. So that's part 2. And the next part, we'll put some heat sets in here, or some heat set inserts in here, and we'll finish up the wiring, and we'll figure out what we're going to do with it once we get it done.